Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ryan. On this clip, Clint and I are just going to talk about Jimmy Butler being traded to the Warriors. But before we get into it, let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are of Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors. We'll talk about, I think that the two most important sides of the trade is the Warriors and the Heat. Quick throwaways. Jazz got Dennis Schroeder. Pistons got Lindsey Waters and Josh Richardson, and I think a second round pick as well. Anything on those two transactions that you want to hit on?
No, it's just, being able to use your cap space to take flyers and stockpile some picks. So both teams, I think the Jazz have done it. I think they've added 3 picks now, just
Yeah.
facilitating trade. So it's good piece of business if you have a little cap space to do it.
Yeah, and the Pistons now have too many men on their roster, so maybe it's a move to do another move, but we'll talk about that later. Let's focus on the Warriors and the Heat side of this. The Warriors received Jimmy Butler. The Heat in this trade received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, PJ Tucker, and a protected 2025 first round pick. So, what angle would you like to hit on real quick first?
I guess we can start with the Heat.
Okay, give me your thoughts on the Heat.
I think they did pretty good for being in a tough situation. Especially once we'll get to it with the Warriors, the extension that Jimmy Butler got, but being able to get Wiggins, who probably fits good into the Miami system of how they like to do things, role players, can play defense. Um, they got a pick. It's protected 1 to 14 for the next 2 years, then would be unprotected in 27, but it's probably just going to go. Obviously, this year, the Warriors just have to basically make the play in. But if for Miami's sake, you're stuck in a bad situation, I'm sure they're going to offload some of the salary to get under the cap. But just to be done with the Jimmy Butler thing, wash your hands away with it, get a younger piece for a team that rebuilds pretty quickly with their culture. I don't think they were going to do much better than this.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to go to the Suns so bad, so it wasn't going to happen. So, for Jimmy Butler, for them to get, that for the Heat to get this trade for them can help them kind of keep them at the level of being competitive where they're at right now. Obviously, I think it limits their ceiling, right, with a trade like this. Wiggins this year is 37% from three. He's averaging 17 points a game with a couple rebounds, basically a block and steal per game. So he's had a better year especially a better year than he did last year. So there's some positive returns there, and he'll be playing, which is probably the biggest thing because Butler wasn't playing, and Wiggins is 29. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's a pretty good trade for Jimmy Butler, especially the fact Jimmy Butler has resorted not to playing for the Heat and the Heat suspending him. It's even just the culture and the atmosphere in the locker room will be pretty good with what they got in return.
For sure. And, with the emergence of Tyler Hero being able to do more
Yeah.
playing point guard, Wiggins can space the floor. And I mean, they just beat the Sixers tonight. I was just watching part of that game. Like they just throw random guys in and look competent. So Wiggins is an upgrade over no one playing
Yeah.
when it comes to Jimmy Butler. But I think he fits what they want to do fairly good.
Yeah. And again, full like Butler, there's a different level of ceiling when he's at his best, and they don't have that type of ceiling right now. But again, who knows? Like, there's still like a day left of the trade deadline, so who knows if they'll do something else. Okay, you ready to go to the Heat side, the Warriors side of this?
Yes.
Okay, give me your thoughts on the Warriors side of adding Jimmy Butler.
Man, that's a lot to pay Jimmy Butler, I think is the worst part of it. Like Jimmy Butler wanted the extension, which is kind of the holdup in all of this. And you can say Wiggins, Butler. I mean, obviously one is probably a more all-around player, but getting rid of some of your depth and then agreeing to pay the dude 2 years, between 110 and 121. I've seen both numbers, but $60 million a year for Jimmy Butler at 35. I think he's 35 right now, so 36 and 37 season is a lot. And I mean, do you think it makes the Warriors all that much better?
It lifts their ceiling a little bit, but I don't think it it doesn't make them a contender, and that's what they're going for right now, right? Like if you got Steph Curry and Draymond Green at the last end of their prime, looking at their career, and it's not like ending, but you don't understand what I'm saying. They only got a couple of good years of basketball left. Adding Jimmy Butler this year helps you like raise the ceiling just a hair bit more than Andrew Wiggins. Like he's uh, a more efficient player than Andrew Wiggins. He's a little bit better of a defender than Andrew Wiggins, but overall he's not gonna change the Warriors to the contender in which they want to be at. So yeah, I guess I'm with, like I guess I'm interested in your thoughts, but I don't think they'll be able to compete with like Oklahoma City or the Nuggets or
Yeah,
those type of teams.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you lose a little spacing in this, and I know you have Steph Curry, so you have the ultimate floor spacer, but
Right.
I don't picture Jimmy Butler sitting in the corner or standing on the wing waiting for the ball a lot. Um, and with Draymond on there defensively, I think they'll be really good. I mean, I don't think Butler's the one-on-one defender he used to be, but a team defender, and the Warriors are a notoriously good defensive team with their rotations and just a basketball IQ. So I think he fits in that way. But some of their lineups, the spacing looks tight, and you named the team, Oklahoma City. Like just thinking of them against a team like Oklahoma City when they could just focus on Steph Curry and Draymond's not going to shoot. Gary Payton's not going to shoot if he's in there for defense. Jimmy Butler's not really going to shoot. So I think it'll be interesting fit. I think it gives them the basketball IQ, the toughness in some of these games. But I just worry about the offensive fit, which seems really weird with the Steph Curry team, but offensive fit against a good defensive team that you're going to be stuck in a 7 game series with.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I also will say like even if it's not the Thunder, there's still some like other teams that I just would have ahead of the Warriors right now, and I don't think that this gets him there. I know there was rumor about Kevin Durant going there, and then I think Kevin Durant's like I don't want to go back to the Warriors. I don't know if that would have put him over the top either, but I like it a little bit better than maybe Jimmy Butler being there, just because, like you said, the spacing. Like, you do have Steph, but with Durant, there's just a little bit more better spacing. But yeah, this was I guess it was an interesting trade, big name. It's going to help the Warriors probably win a couple more games in the regular season, but as far as contender, it doesn't move the needle for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I just think it makes them a little more intimidating physically, but I just really struggle to see how the offense comes along. Kaminga, another guy that can't shoot. Moses Moody, up and down. It's weird. You go from a Curry team that we knew for all the space team for all the years to now it's can we play defense and grind out a game? I think is going to have to be their approach or play fast, to get into their offense, which is harder in the playoffs, as we all know. It slows down. So, the hang up with thought about the Bucks getting Jimmy Butler or some of these teams is, he's old, but then you add in the extension and it's like 55 to $60 million for the next 2 years after this. That's a lot to put in. And it's definitely a risk, but as we mentioned, the Warriors we only got a few years left of this, a shot to do something. And sometimes you find out what door B is.
Yeah, I think like at least they did something, I guess, but I don't know. Like like they weren't going anywhere anyway. Like so, you know, I guess that makes sense that they did something. They brought in a big name, and who knows, maybe in the playoffs, if anyone can figure this out, it's going to be guys like Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, like Draymond, I know people hate him, but he's got a high basketball IQ. Jimmy Butler, they could figure it out. But yeah, it's really a what's it like a Hail Mary to try to make the most of this small window that they have with Steph and Draymond at this point.
And personality wise, it might be exciting to see Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green if things don't go smooth. I'm sure nothing irrational would happen there, but it could be entertaining for the rest of us.
Correct. Okay, man. Let's just grade it for the two teams that are kind of the more important teams in this. The Warriors getting Butler. What's your grade for them?
I'll give it a B minus. I think I like, you got to take the shot. We talked focused a lot on the negative, but again, with the resources available, they got to take their shot. At least they're going for it. So I'll give them some of that. And like we said, defensively, I think it'll work. So B minus.
Yeah, I'll give them a little bit of a B just because again, it raises their ceiling. Maybe not super high, but high enough. And once Kevin Durant came off the table, Levine was traded. It's like who else were they going to get that would raise their ceiling, as much as Jimmy Butler would? And you mentioned, it's like the window. Let's try to do it the next 3 years. So yeah, I'm with you on. I'll give them a B though instead of a B minus. And what about the Heat?
I'll give them a B plus.
Mhm.
They at least got something out of it, a useful player. They probably get downgraded a little because they probably should have done this in the off season, but two stubborn personalities were going at it, so they salvaged it I think to the best they probably could have got at this deadline.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll just do a B as well, just because you're right. I think they got the best that they could, but the thing that it doesn't really it lowers their ceiling for me, and I think it's will be nice to have Andrew Wiggins, but it's not you're not going anywhere with adding Andrew Wiggins to watch roster. In the first round they got it was I think heavily protected, and so it's like, I mean they made the best out of the situation is what they did. So
Yeah, and I didn't check Wiggins' contract. I know Miami was shooting for the summer of 26 to have cap space for a lot of, some guys that could be free agents. So I forgot to check before if Wiggins' contract runs out about that time anyhow. So you could even move off of him next year if he's only got 1 year left, if you think you're going to be able to land someone.
yeah, that's fair. Okay, man. Anything else with this trade?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Clint. Thanks everyone for listening. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment down below what your thoughts are on the trade. Give grades to some of these teams, and we will talk to you all real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.